This is the Kodak Ektar H35. This is basically just a manual point and shoot film camera, and it shoots in half frame. For those of you who don't know or don't have an interest in film photography, essentially a film roll has something called exposures. These are essentially the photographs that you take on the film roll. A standard film roll will come in either 24 or 36 exposures, which means 24 or 36 pictures on it. A half frame camera like this one will half each exposure. That way a 36 exposure film roll will have 72 photos instead. Honestly, I'm excited to see the photos that I've taken with this. I've had a roll in here for well about a year. I bought a few rolls from this guy. I think his name's Kyle Grain. He puts some overlays on his film, and I thought it was a really cool little party trick. And I don't remember which one it is in this one. But we'll open it up and let's take a look.
You got me feeling good, right about your side. Lost in every move, writing down your smile. Baby, hold me tight, let me trace your lines. Keep it low.
Ooh, I did. Ooh, it's a snow one. Okay.
Baby girl, you look so fine, fine, fine. I must hang up, she can't wait to tune it out.
Now, if you're like most people, you might be asking yourself, why don't you just shoot digital? We live in 2025. And while that might be the case, I have some news for you. I haven't shot film for a while. But hear me out. I love film. Film is just one of those mediums that helps you fall in love with the process. I love opening the camera, putting the film in, pulling out the spool, winding everything up, winding for every single shot, and not even knowing what you're shooting. I recently got into coffee making, and I think it follows this sort of a similar process where you kind of fall in love with coffee from the way you make it. And in a similar way, I start falling in love with photography because of how I compose it and how I make it. My first ever shots with a real camera came from a black and white film that I got from one of my friends. His name is Brandon. He's a very, very talented photographer. Shout out Brandon. And although I have transitioned to digital photography with my Sony and my Fujifilm, I still try to emulate a lot of those film aspects. I highly recommend starting out in black and white because you start thinking more about your composition and less about your colors. You start thinking less about what makes the shot look good and more, why do I like the shot? By the way, if you like any of the photos that I'm showing on screen right now, you can feel free to follow my Instagram right here. That's my photography Instagram. I'll post there sparingly on whenever I take cool pictures of anything. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? It looks like our photos are here. So this is my first time seeing any of these photos. Also Red Velvet's here because of course they are. Oh, my first few. So the first few frames that I took, I kind of forgot how to shoot film or use that camera, so there's a lot of like weird double exposure going on. Okay, that's something. Of course there's the obligatory mirror selfie. That's what I think every photographer does with their either first roll of film or like one of the rolls of film. Oh, I remember this place. On my lunch break there, I went to like a little neighborhood because I saw on the maps that there was a river that ran through like a trail just outside of their neighborhood. So I decided to shoot some pictures there. And honestly, it was a really cool spot. I think I would go back and take more pictures if I could. Goodness, I'm so nerdy. Another selfie of me just going, wait, oh my gosh, I have colored lenses in. This was back when I had colored lenses. Yeah, some of these photos are really avant-garde. I took a picture of a shopping cart. This is interesting. I think that's like, what do they call it? It's not called sunburn. It's light leaks, that's what they call it. But like, it gives it a bit of an eerie feel. Just kind of like a red little vignette with a white thing in the middle. You could probably like Photoshop an alien or something in there. Of course, I had to take a picture of Elaine. This was during a date where we went to Sausalito. Very cool. I really enjoyed it. Oh, some Christmas decorations. This was also during my lunch break. I went to a different community and they had a bunch of Christmas lights up and a bunch of Christmas decorations up. I think I was listening to a Life of Riza's interview at the time. I do remember this day very clearly. Another picture of Elaine from Enchant. This was when I was shooting my first vlog. I had 3 cameras that day. I had my vlogging camera, I had my digital camera to take pictures of her, and then I had this camera, the Ektar. When you don't see photos for a long time and then all of a sudden everything starts coming, like rushing back up to you, you just start remembering all of these little memories, all these little snippets in time where I decided, you know, like, oh, this would be a great time to take my camera out and take a picture. It looks like we're done looking at some photos, and I think it's about time we start taking some. Today, I'm bringing my camera to Santa Cruz to take some much needed time off. During this trip, I want to treat my camera like a supporting character rather than the main one. What draws my attention? What do I want to see? There's this concept in meditation called open monitoring, which focuses on acknowledging habits about yourself and experiences you go through without actively working or reacting to them. And I want to try something similar today. Oh yeah, Elaine's here too. I'm literally here to take photos. And I brought my 56mm, not realizing that I can't take any 56mm photos here. I think there's definitely some elitism when it comes to photography. What brand you shoot, how you edit your photos, the locations you visit. But to me, the quality of your photos are only one part of the experience as a whole. To me, you're a photographer if you like taking photos. I read a quote that once said, sorry, I have to bring it up. The camera is an instrument that teaches people how to see without a camera. And the more I shoot, the more I think that's true. These photos were things that I decided I wanted to take a picture of. Not for anything else other than it caught my eye and it's what I wanted to shoot. These are little snapshots in time that I can take a look back on and think about and remember how much fun I had in Santa Cruz. I think photography helps us document what we love and what really sparks our interests and our passions and our visions. People who see the photos that we take will know that we took them with a grueling passion and that we loved the subject that we took a picture of before we even touched the shutter. So I'm not too sure what my point is with this vlog. I just wanted to talk a lot about photography because that's one of my passions, but I guess the moral of the story is shoot some more photos.